In this video, we'll be taking a look at two college basketball games happening on January 29, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these two college basketball games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Duke versus Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is set to host the number 12 ranked Duke in their sole clash of the season, a highly anticipated matchup between two Atlantic Coast Conference contenders. Duke narrowly escaped with a 72-71 victory over Clemson, overcoming a challenging home encounter where they were favored by -7.5 points. On the other hand, the Hokies dominated Georgia Tech with a commanding 91-67 win, asserting their dominance as -10 favorites on their home court. The Duke Blue Devils have compiled a 15-4 record overall, including a 6-2 mark in Atlantic Coast Conference play following their recent triumph over Clemson. The closely contested game saw Duke leading 32-26 at halftime, only to face a resilient Clemson team that outscored them 45-40 in the second half. Despite shooting 41.2% from the field and struggling with a -9 rebounding margin, Duke secured the win. Notably, they had previously defeated Louisville 83-69 but suffered an 80-76 loss to Pittsburgh. Averaging 81 points per game, Duke is led by Kyle Filipowski, contributing 18 points, 8.7 rebounds, and 2.9 assists per game. Their shooting percentages stand at 47.9% from the field, 73.7% on free throws, and 38.1% on three-pointers. Virginia Tech, with a 13-7 overall record and a 5-4 Atlantic Coast Conference record, enters this clash on the back of a convincing 91-67 victory over Georgia Tech. Leading 44-28 at halftime, the Hokies demonstrated offensive prowess by shooting 55.2% from the field and sinking 12 three-pointers. Notable victories against Boston College and NC State preceded their win over Georgia Tech. Averaging 75 points per game, Virginia Tech is powered by Sean Petala, contributing 16 points, 4.4 assists, and 4.1 rebounds per game. Their shooting percentages for the season include 46.6% from the field, 80.3% on free throws, and 36.6% on three-pointers. In the previous season, these two teams split their meetings, each winning at home both straight up and against the spread. This season, both Duke and Virginia Tech share identical against the spread records of 9-10. Despite both teams showing recent strong performances, the Hokies have notably elevated their offensive game, boasting a 4-1 straight up and 5-0 against the spread record in their last 5 meetings at Casso Coliseum. Virginia Tech holds a significant home advantage. The Hokies have a 7-4 against the spread record at home this season, while Duke struggles on the road with a 1-3-1 against the spread record, all as favorites. Both teams enter the game with strong recent performances, but Duke has been particularly dominant, winning 10 of their last 11 games. Despite a close call against Clemson in their last outing, Duke managed to secure the victory. Virginia Tech, on the other hand, comes into the game on a 3-game winning streak, with 2 of those victories against lower-ranked opponents, Georgia Tech and Boston College. While defensive and shooting metrics are similar for both teams, Duke has been consistently scoring about 7 more points per game. Duke's recent performance against Clemson raised concerns about their ability to dominate against lower-ranked teams, and this trend is expected to continue against Virginia Tech. With an average of 75 points per game, the Hokies are poised to exploit any defensive vulnerabilities that Duke may present. Although Duke possesses a strong offense, they are likely to face challenges in pulling away from Virginia Tech. Considering the game is being played at Virginia Tech, the Hokies have a favorable chance at securing an upset win. Therefore, the Virginia Tech Hokies to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Looking at the overall scoring, I predict that the total points in Monday's Duke-Virginia Tech game will fall short of 147. The home team ranks just outside the top 50 in defensive efficiency, while the visitors rank 36th. Despite anticipating a competitive game, the expectation is for a lower-scoring affair. Duke's recent narrow escape against Clemson suggests they may face a tough challenge from the Hokies on both ends of the court, and concerns about Duke's depth further support the likelihood of a lower-scoring game. Therefore, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Virginia Tech should be prepared for a challenging battle against Duke. In their recent game against Clemson, Duke demonstrated defensive prowess, holding the Tigers to 38% shooting, including 30% from long range. Despite Clemson's rebounding advantage, Duke managed to limit their offensive production. Considering these defensive capabilities, the expectation is for a closely contested game, leading to a final score that falls below the projected total. Therefore, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Houston versus Texas. A compelling Big 12 clash is scheduled for Monday, pitting the number 4 Houston Cougars against the Texas Longhorns in a Lone Star State showdown. Fresh off a commanding 74-52 victory over Kansas State, where they covered a 14.5-point spread as favorites, Houston now faces a Texas team coming off a road loss to Brigham Young University, failing to cover as 7.5-point underdogs. Notably, this encounter marks the first of 2 matchups this season, with the teams not crossing paths last year due to Houston's recent entry into the Big 12. Houston is presently listed as 5-point favorites on the road. The Cougars embarked on an impressive start to the season with 14 consecutive victories. However, they faced setbacks against Iowa State and TCU earlier this month before rebounding with wins over Texas Tech, UCF, Brigham Young University, and Kansas State. In their recent triumph against Kansas State, Houston dominated the first half, establishing a 41-21 lead, and secured a 74-52 victory with a 33-31 run in the second half. Jamal Shead led the team with 17 points, 3 assists, and 2 steals in 29 minutes of play. On the Texas side, their initial 13 games saw only losses to UConn and Marquette. However, a more challenging stretch ensued, with the Longhorns posting a 3-4 record, securing wins against Cincinnati, Baylor, and Oklahoma, but suffering losses to Texas Tech, West Virginia, UCF, and Brigham Young University. In their recent clash with Brigham Young University, Texas trailed 44-41 at halftime and ended up losing 84-72, despite Dylan Dessou's 19 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. Reflecting on Texas' recent performance against Brigham Young University, initial expectations of a competitive game were shattered, leading to the realization that the Longhorns may be a middle-of-the-pack team. While capable of delivering impressive performances, they also exhibit inconsistency against elevated competition. In contrast, Houston stands out as an exceptionally well-rounded team, with a formidable defense that consistently performs at a high level, allowing only 84.5 points per 100 possessions, a statistic that places them in a league of their own compared to other teams in the 80s, while the majority fall into the 90s or higher. Despite encountering early setbacks in their new conference, Houston displayed resilience and regained momentum. Entering the matchup with Texas, the Cougars seem poised to capitalize on their well-rounded strengths. While the Longhorns remain competitive, their uncertain start in league play raises questions about their overall legitimacy this season. The significance of this game within the state and the Big 12 adds extra motivation for the Cougars, potentially fueling a determined performance. Anticipating a defensive battle, the potential for the under to prevail is plausible, although a strategic move is suggested, favoring Houston to triumph in this Lone Star clash. So the Houston Cougars to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Given Houston's elite defense, the majority of their games this season have leaned towards the under, boasting a 14-6 record in that regard, including a 3-1 mark on the road. Interestingly, Texas has witnessed the under hitting at a rate of 6 to 5 to 1 in home games. Examining the pace of play, both Houston and Texas rank among the slowest teams in the nation. Houston utilizes only 63.6 possessions per 40 minutes, ranking 350th nationally, while Texas sits at 237th, employing 67.1 possessions per 40 minutes. Despite the presence of an excellent guard in Max of Mass for Texas, it is unlikely that he belongs to the elite class of scorers capable of dismantling Houston's formidable defense. Consequently, the Longhorns may need to heavily rely on their defense in this matchup. In addition to the slow pace, both teams possess 2 strong guards adept at ball handling and minimizing turnovers, Houston with Shedd and Cryer, and Texas with Maz and Hunter. These experienced guards are unlikely to succumb to excessive ball turnovers, contributing to the overall control of the game. With Houston ranked 350th in tempo, showcasing one of the slowest playing styles, coupled with their top-ranked defense, they are poised to limit Texas' scoring opportunities. Texas, playing at the 239th ranked tempo, is likely to adopt an even slower approach, aiming to restrict possessions and keep the game close as the underdog. Considering Houston's recent trend of going under in 4 of their last 6 games, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.